Stay tuned as we take a look at this Marvel Legends Union Jack from the Hulk Build-A-Figure wave. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. Today we are taking a look at this Union Jack. I am UK repping. It is nice to finally add some UK influence on our shelves compared to so many figures that we have from New York City. But this is obviously part of the Avengers Endgame Wave 2 Hulk Build-A-Figure wave, as you can tell by that giant Hulk arm he has in the box. He has a couple of weapon accessories, but nothing much. But I'm still happy to add another UK-inspired figure to the ever-growing collection with that Union Jack on the front of him. So yes, Hasbro did do a bit of a switcheroo though, as he was originally meant to come on the Spider-Man 2099 body, and now it seems to be the Bucky cap, but I'll open that up and see for myself if it really is going to make that big of a difference. On the side we get a picture of Union Jack, the same on the back with a little bit of a write-up, basically telling you he's British. And then here we have a list of all the figures in this wave you need to complete the Hulk Build-A-Figure. Today we're reviewing Union Jack. So this is the last figure in the wave I need to complete Hulk. So after this one I'll be reviewing Hulk, but until then, let's open him up. So here we have Union Jack out the box, and quite a simple, straightforward figure. The character design is nice with the Union Jack on the front, and it hasn't really changed much over the years. A few different people have donned the title of Union Jack, and the costume has seen a few changes, but it's basically looked like this throughout the years, and this is his most iconic look, and this is what the modern character is using as well. So obviously it's just like a giant onesie with the Union Jack on the front, and it has a belt. It's like a utility belt. You can put a few of his accessories in there, which I'll get into in a second as we see them here on the table. It's basically just a gun and a knife. He also comes with the Build-A-Figure piece for the Hulk, and this is the last piece I need to now complete the Hulk Build-A-Figure. So you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel and come back, as I always review the Build-A-Figure last. So if you're watching this in order, then a review of the Hulk will be next. But as I said, this was originally meant to come on the Spider-Man 2099 body, which is a very well articulated body, which is a bit beefier than this Bucky cap. But the Bucky cap is a decent body mold. We've got hundreds of figures in this body mold, and the range of articulation is decent for your figures. But yeah, let's zoom in. I'll show you the belt and all of that, but it's the Bucky cap, so I don't really need to go over articulation. So here we have a close-up of Union Jack, and the face is basically a guy wearing a balaclava, so there's not much expression or character to the face. It is just a guy wearing a balaclava, and you can sort of see his eyes, but it's decently done. It's a dark blue. The main detail is obviously this Union Jack painted on the front, and I've seen a few people online complaining it's sloppy, but mine looks okay, to be fair. The lines seem okay, even on the crunch there, and then on the back as well the design sort of just goes red there in the middle, but the lines seem okay. Not perfect, especially up here. You can't see that red doesn't fill the full gap, but it's not bad. I've seen worse paint jobs for a design on the chest that articulates with all these lines. It's not bad at all. The belt, as I said, is like a utility belt, and it does come off. It is a separate piece, so you can completely remove the belt if you want to, but then the character be quite bland. So the belt does just peg back in there, and then of course he has a holster for his gun. So there is the gun. It is just a simple gun. I'm sure we've seen a million times before. It's just got a black handle, and that will sit in the holster, hopefully so. There you go, and you can actually fold it over and plug in the holster, and hopefully that will work. So there you go. I hope that comes across well. You can plug in the holster. It's plugged in with his gun, and then on the other side, if I lift up his arm, you can see a sheath for the knife, and then the knife is exactly the same as the gun, same colours, black handle, sort of silver blade, and that holsters in there. So now you've got his gun and his knife holstered in to his belt, and that completes your Union Jack. And then, as I said, the figure's got these sort of wrists and ankle pieces that break up the dark blue, but it is very simple figure, to be fair. So as I said, I'm very happy to have a UK character represented in figure form to go on the shelf, as the majority of characters, as I said, are from America or from space or have some sort of US origins. But this one is very much grounded in the UK, as you can see. I don't know if that was the big hint. But if you are curious who this guy is, I will try my best to explain in a segment I like to call Union Jack. Who is he? This is the part of the video where we ask the question, who is he? And I try and give you a little bit of information about the character this figure is inspired by. So, Union Jack, who is he? Currently, 3 different people have held the title of Union Jack. The first was James Farnsworth, the second is son Brian Farnsworth, and the most recent is Joseph Chapman and has no relation to the Farnsworth bloodline. The first time Union Jack was seen in the comics was back in Invaders number 7 in July of 1976. None of the Union Jacks ever had superpowers, but were all athletic and at the peak of human potential. Wearing his bulletproof vest and carrying a dagger and his trademark revolver as his weapon of choice, Union Jack is always at the centre of the UK espionage community. There you go, so I hope that helps. Again, I do not claim to be an expert, but it is nice to have a little bit of information about the characters these figures are inspired by. So let's get into some comparisons, and the first one I had to do, British inspired, it is Captain Britain himself, and these two clearly shop at the same tailors and get their costume designed by the same person, as they are both heavily inspired from the Union Jack flag. I think that's to sort of tease that they're British, which makes it a little bit obvious. Talking about another British character that maybe not so obvious is Black Knight. He goes deep in UK lore, back to medieval times and Merlin and the Round Table and all of that, but even Union Jack has deep history with the royalty bloodline and all that. He was a lord, well, previous versions of him was a lord. But yes, Captain Britain's twin sister Psylocke. We've even got Jessica Drew, one of the Spider Women who's British. And yeah, you can start to build out your Excalibur team, especially now that we've got the new Nightcrawler in the Wendigo wave. But yeah, British influence in Marvel, like seeing it. And here we have Union Jack compared to the other 3 comic book characters that are coming this wave, including Beta Ray Bill, Loki, and everyone's favourite Serpent Society member, Rock Python. And as you can see, compared to these 3, Union Jack is definitely the scrawny of the 4, as he uses that Bucky Cat body. I would have preferred to see him on a more bulkier body mold like they originally planned, but I do think it works for the character, and I'm sure you'll be happy with it in person, as it is a nice upgrade compared to the previous version we had from Hasbro when it comes to Union Jack. I would have preferred maybe a couple of interchangeable heads with some different expressions, or maybe an unmasked head, but for a standard representation of Union Jack, this is pretty good, and I'm happy to add him to the shelf. Never going to complain about more UK influence on my shelf and collection. So you let me know what you think in the comments below, as always, and go and check out that video tab for all of the reviews in this wave so far and hundreds of others. But most importantly, hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much, and as always, my name is Dan W, and I shall see you on the next one.